Hi guys, Ursa Dia here, and I am back with my top 10 K-pop songs of 2020. As crappy as this year has been, it has given us a lot of great music, both within the K-pop community and outside, and I am super excited to do this. This is my third year of doing my top 10 K-pop songs, and I can honestly say I think this year is the most diverse and also like the toughest year for me to choose, just because there were so many songs that I was like obsessed with. Like my honorable mentions, I believe, are about the same size as my top 10, just because I ended up liking that many songs, and there's a bunch of songs that I didn't even put on the list. But I'm super excited to share these with you. I like to go into this stating that I did set rules for it, and also these are my own opinions. These don't mean that I don't like one group if I don't mention them or anything. These are just the songs that like I personally really enjoyed this year. Whether I listened to it on repeat or for some other reason, like these are my personal favorite songs. They might not necessarily be your personal favorite songs, and that's okay, but these ones are mine. So just keep an open mind, and I hope you enjoy. But before we get started, let's start off with the rules because I do set rules. And so the first one is only title tracks. I do this just because there are very few groups that I listen to full albums for, and so it wouldn't be fair to the artists and the groups who I don't listen to their full albums for to get booted off just because I like three or four B-side tracks from one of the few artists I do listen to their full albums. So I do that just to kind of keep things fair, also because most people only really listen to the title tracks or would only recognize said title tracks. Second is only official comebacks. I do this just because, like, I prefer if they're like promoting it, or I don't necessarily count like EPs or like solo tracks that aren't like official, just like mixtapes here and there, or like BTS will release a lot of solo songs that aren't necessarily like comebacks, but just here and there, like Jimin and V just dropped some the other day. And so I don't really count those because they aren't official tracks. And then third is only one song per group or artist. I do this just to keep things fair. And so like I'm not having like every single BTS like song that they released or every single like Stray Kids song or anything. I do it just to kind of keep it fair and kind of like mix it up and have the chance for more groups to kind of be shown within my top 10. So those are the rules. They are what they are, but they really didn't detract. Honestly, the only thing that like the rules really made hard was just like choosing which song between certain groups like I want to choose. But yeah, so those are the rules. And now let's get into the top 10. So at number 10, we have Ice Age by MCND. This was actually the first song that I heard by this group, and I believe actually the only song. I think I've listened to one other by them. Um, and it got so stuck in my head. I believe I reacted to it on my channel, but it got so stuck in my head, and I loved it, and I listened to it on repeat. I still listen to it. I jam out to it. I showed it to my friends and made them listen to it. It just ended up being like a really fun song. I loved the way that it was written. It was just very catchy and very fun, and I thought for a kind of like newer group, it was really well done. So that is my number 10. At number 9, I have Dun Dun by Everglow. This song was one that at the very beginning of the year I was obsessed with. I was actually learning the dance to it, with my roommate at the time, and we were going to actually perform it at a convention, but sadly the convention got canceled due to COVID. But I was super excited, I was super into the song. The only reason why it is so low is just because after like the convention got canceled, I did kind of stop listening to it for a while, because it did make me kind of sad that like we practiced so hard for it and then we didn't actually get to show it. Um, but it's still a song that had a lot of meaning for me this year, just because it was something fun that I got to try to learn with my roommate, and it is just a really, really good song. At number 8, I have Given Taken by Enhypen, and this one I'm kind of surprised made the list, but also kind of not surprised. I love, love, love Enhypen. Like, I watched Island, like, I reacted to this, and so if you guys watched that video, like, you guys probably already know this. I watched Island. I think of like all of Enhypen as my children. Um, except for I think the one member who's older than me, but everybody else, like, they're my babies. And so I was like expecting to at least have their song in like the honorable mentions, but I actually really love Give and Taken. Like, it is my style. I love the kind of like vampire aesthetic of it. I just absolutely loved it. And so even though it's only been out for a few weeks, like, I've been playing it nonstop for those few weeks. And so I just really, really love it. And it quickly became one of my favorite songs for this year. So I had to put it on the list, but I did put it a bit lower just because it is newer and there were other songs that I liked better. But I still really enjoyed it. And I think for them, literally having this as their debut track, like, it was phenomenal. At number 7, I have One Lucid Dream by Golden Child. This song was so good, and honestly, like, this is Golden Child's best title track ever. Like, no joke, like, this is their best title track. It's still not my favorite Golden Child song. I'm still partial to Genie, that I think will always be my favorite title track, but One Lucid Dream is by far their actual like best title track. Like, it is so good. Like, it shows the range in their vocals. Like, it just shows how far that they've come from like debuting as like a boy crush to having more mature concepts. It's better than Wannabe. Like, it is so freaking good. I am so proud of them. It is hardcore, like, their best title track that they've released so far. At number 6, I have Oh My God by G Idol. This one was actually one that I waited a while before I listened to it, and my roommate actually like forced me to listen to it. And after I listened to it, like, I was playing it on repeat. I was listening to it like all the time. I still listen to it. I love it so much. Like, the vocals and the way that the song was written just sounds so good. And I also kind of like that it's like a little bit like girls' love style, like if you really like sit and read the lyrics and stuff. And so I just really, really enjoyed that. I thought the concept was really cool. I thought that the way that like the song sounds was really, really nice. So I really enjoyed that one. At number 5, I have Answer by ATEEZ. ATEEZ is a group that like a lot of my friends are super into, and so I'm kind of like into them because of them, but I'm not like super into them on my own. But Answer is by far my favorite ATEEZ song that they've released, and it's definitely one that I've been listening to like non-stop all year. Um, it was just so, so good. I've been listening to it on repeat since it came out. I just really, really enjoy it. Um, it's definitely my favorite AT song that I've been forced to listen to by my friends. And so I thought that number 5 was a pretty fitting place for it because there were songs that I liked more, but this is a song I've been listening to since like January. So it's definitely a really good song, definitely my style. At number 4, I have Scream by Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher is a group that like I'm surprised I'm not into more because I always like their music videos and just like the style that they have, but I never like really end up listening to them. But Scream was like one that like I listened to like once and then I like fell in love with it. Like the music video was cool, but the actual song itself was like so addicting that like I still listen to it today. It's just like I don't know, it's just like a very like powerful like song, and I think I really enjoyed that. So I just thought that that was really really good. I'm I was surprised when I like sat down to do this list. Like I was like writing down all these groups and I was like, wow, like the first 2 years I had a lot of like the same groups on the list, just obviously different songs. But like this year, like I was like, oh my god, like half of these are like new people and stuff. Um, and Dreamcatcher was one of them, but like they really like deserved this, and they really deserved fourth place. Like that song was so so great. So that's my number 4. At number 3, I have I Can't Stop Me by Twice. I'm gonna be 100% honest, this is Twice's best song. I know it didn't do too well in the charts, at least in Korea. I know that it ended up being more popular overseas than in Korea, but like no joke, that's their best song and I will fight anybody on it. Like I know a lot of reasons why it didn't do too well is because a lot of people still want them to do like the cutesy like girl crush and like bubblegum pop that they used to do, and I Can't Stop Me is definitely probably their most mature like concept that they've done yet, but it slaps. Like it's so freaking good. Like I'm sad that it didn't do better because it deserved the most out of like any of their songs. Like it was still addictive, but it wasn't the annoying Twice addictive where it gets stuck in your head and you end up hating it because it's stuck in your head. Like this was a song you wanted to get stuck in your head because it was so good. Like you can tell how much they've grown vocally since their debut with this song. It was really catchy, but it was a bit understated in how like addictive it was, and it just sounded so good. And it definitely matched like the more mature concept that they were going for. So I will argue till my death that that is Twice's best comeback since they've debuted, because it is so good and it is underappreciated. At number 2, we have Backdoor by Stray Kids. This is actually really, really hard. I fell in love with both God's Menu and Backdoor this year, and so it was really, really hard for me to decide which one I liked better. Um, and so it was kind of like tough. I kind of like narrowed it down by like overall like which had more parts that I really enjoyed and kind of like the members' styles and everything, and so I ended up picking Backdoor. Um, and honestly, both of them I think deserve to be on here, but because of my rules, only one of them could be chosen. So I chose Backdoor because it is newer, and I do think that I have listened to it a little bit more than God's Menu. But it's really hard to say because I've listened to them both so, so much. Stray Kids had just an amazing year this year, like in terms of music. They just had so many great songs, and so they definitely were deserving of number 2. Like, They were so good. They all looked so good. Hyunjin was bias wrecking me this entire year, but Felix was there trying to stay strong in that bias lane. But they all looked so good, they all sounded so good. Both of those songs deserve to be at number 2, but Backdoor definitely had to take it. And now, before we get into the number 1 spot, I would like to just have some honorable mentions because there were just a lot of great songs, and I do think that these groups and songs deserve some recognition. So, for the honorable mentions, we have Helicopter by CLC, Knock by Astro, Pour a Pim Pom by Sunmi, Left and Right by 17, Monster by Irene and Solgi, Blue Hour by TXT, Red Moon by Card, and Black Mamba by aespa. And now, for the number 1 position, drum roll, please. It's On by BTS. This probably was not very surprising. It might have been surprising that I picked On, but it's probably not surprising that BTS is at the top of my list. The reason why I picked On instead of Life Goes On or Dynamite is, 1, Dynamite would have taken it, but technically because it's in all English, it doesn't necessarily fit into my definition of what K-pop is. Just because it is in all English, like whenever a K-pop group releases a Japanese song, I consider that J-pop, so because they released the song in English, I consider that regular pop sung by a K-pop group. And so because of that, I did not count Dynamite in this ranking, or else it would have gone to Dynamite. And then it was between On and Life Goes On, and Life Goes On is really beautiful. I really enjoy it. It's really fitting for kind of like keeping on with like this year and trying to like say that life continues on, but it was a bit slow, whereas On was just really like pumped up. It had like a really inspirational message with it too, and I really enjoyed it. I would sit and watch it like a few times a day, not even for streaming purposes, but just because I love the choreography in it. Like their like video, like the choreography video of it was just so cool looking, and I just loved to watch it like over and over again because I just thought the choreography was so amazing. And then the song itself was so addicting that I just kept listening to it. And also, like, Jungkook's part in the bridge was just phenomenal. Like, I loved it so much that I definitely had to give, like, number 1 to this song. Like, it's been my favorite, one of my favorite songs since it came out. It's so good. I still listen to it. Like, it is just so good. It is definitely, like, out of their official, like, title tracks, my favorite for this year. And probably one of my favorite overall. I wouldn't say it's my favorite BTS title track overall, but it's definitely high up there. It's just really good. And so, those are my K-pop top 10 of 2020. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys agreed with them, if you disagree, what your top 10 are, or if you don't have that many, like maybe your top 3 or 5. Let me know down in the comments below what groups and songs you really enjoyed this year. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I release more K-pop related videos or just other fun videos on my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys all have a happy and wonderful new year. Let's go into 2021 with lots of smiles and hope that it is a hell of a lot better than 2020, because we all just need a big break from this cursed year. So, Happy New Year's. I hope you guys are all spending lots of time with your family if you guys can. If you are stuck alone due to COVID and stuff, I hope that you can find lots of love and compassion through people online or video chatting, and just know that you aren't alone, even though these times may seem like it. And let's try to keep our head high and remember that life goes on, life will go on, and 2020 can't overtake our 2021. So let's just stay strong and stay together. And yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. Love you. Bye.